Our presentation is over Kechikan, Alaska. Kechikan's population is 8,192, and the notable characteristics of the city are that it's the salmon capital of the world, it has a rich history with indigenous culture, it's a popular cruise ship destination, and it's surrounded by nature, which would include rainforests, mountains, coastal waters, etc. The importance of tourism planning here with the economic benefits are going to be that Ketchikan is heavily reliant on tourism as a significant portion of its economy. Planning helps to sustain and diversify tourism, ensuring long-term economic benefits, and it balances local culture and environmental concerns with the needs of the tourists. The resource I have here is from the TBMP, and it just addresses the issues brought upon by partners, community, and city governments. And if you'd like to, you could scan that QR code to go to their website to learn more about that. So, the another importance of tourism planning here would be environmental sustainability, which would be that it ensures responsible tourism that minimizes the impact on the local ecosystems, such as the rainforest and the marine environments. And it also focuses on eco-friendly tours and preserving wildlife habitats. And the source that we used for this is going to be the Ketchikan Gateway Bureau. And again, if you want to read more into that, you could click the resource at the bottom with the QR code. So another and the final one that we came up with was cultural preservation. So a major contributor to the local economy via cruise ships, fishing tours, and other activities are going to be the indigenous population there. It also supports the small business, hospitality, and local craftsmen. So they have a lot of local artists, and they do have totem pole tours and indigenous tours in general. And again, if you want to learn more about that, there is a resource at the bottom there. So there are some key barriers, and that's going to be financial limitations, cultural resistance, environmental concerns, seasonality. So all of those things do play a factor at the same time. So some of the fun things that we got into were the fishing charters and tours. Obviously, I'm not going to go too in depth on that, but if you want to look at that, then there's also a QR code there. These are just some fun photos from people's adventures. Like I said, they do totem pole tours and native cultural experiences. So they have local native tour guides, private personal ones, totem pole parks, and hiking and wildlife viewing. And these are some photos of those experiences. So those are really cool. There's wildlife viewing as well, which is super, super cool. Again, not going to go into too much detail there because we do talk about some tours that we're interested in the end, but here are some photos of the local wildlife, eagles, bears, things like that. So cruise ships are a big thing in Alaska. They are widely known for Alaskan cruises. They have a lot of really cool excursions and things, and I'll get more into that whenever we hit the next slide. So I chose to look at the Creekway Street because that is somewhere that they like to go, but it does also go into the downtown scenery that we'll talk about later. And the Ketchikan Grab and Go, it's just a local restaurant that is super interesting to people. And also, I'll go back. The QR code here, it does give that as a local place to eat, so it is something that they are interested in as a community. They also have hiking and nature tours. One of the coolest things is the rainforest trails. So the Tallgrass National Forest is really, really cool and really, really beautiful. This is what this looks like. Again, not going to go into too much detail because we do talk about it later. So our next thing is the historic walking tour, like I was saying earlier. The This is a big thing for people on their excursions whenever they do go out off their cruises. There is a map here, and that is what downtown Kechikan looks like. So that's super exciting to get to go and tour. It's really beautiful. The next thing is kayaking and canoeing tours, which is also super interesting. These can range from 4 day tours to 2.5 hour tours, 2.5 hour tours, which I thought was super interesting because I would be exhausted. Here's some photos of that. And then the next thing are the art galleries, like I mentioned earlier. It is really important to preserve local artists, especially indigenous artists, because they do not make as much money as some people do. So that's really interesting. The QR code there will take you to a specific place for finding these local art galleries. And here's some art pieces, which is very cool. So zip lining is also a really cool thing that they do. You can read from the QR code as well there, and this is some fun photos of that, which I thought was super interesting because it's very beautiful there as well. And then the flight seeing is also super cool. So instead of going on like a boat tour or a walking tour of downtown or the cruise aspect of things, you could go on a float plane or a helicopter tour. And I accidentally lost my photo of the float plane, but it wasn't here. And I think that that is so gorgeous. And that would be a very, very cool experience to have. So the cultural immersion tour, this is more Mackenzie's area, but essentially, so that would be the more Native American storytelling, immersive aspects. The visitors can try their hand at weaving or carving, participating in a storytelling circle, experiencing native dance performance, and inclusion of the meals featuring traditional Alaskan food. So, unlike where we're from, these Native Americans are completely different. So, they have a completely different culture, which is super interesting. So, who we would be catering to during the time of this tour would be ecotourists, nature lovers, wildlife enthusiasts, families. And this is focused basically on nature and wildlife experiences, and it seeks low impact sustainable tourism options. So, one way that we would promote that would be through outdoor adventure websites, wildlife conservation organizations, and eco conscious travel influencers. It would emphasize the environmental sustainability of the tour and all the promotional materials. So, that's more Mackenzie's area. My area, I chose the fishing charters and the tours because this is a big thing for Alaska. People go all the time just to do that, and I had looked into it, and through the link that was previously shown, they're found everywhere in Ketchikan. I think there was around 9 links to different places that you could book, so they are everywhere. So I also think that this would cater to the eco-tourists, nature lovers, wildlife enthusiasts, families, but also older men. And how I think would be a good way to promote would not only be through the places that we previously mentioned, but also Facebook. Facebook is a good source because they are very good at finding local groups for when you go on vacation. So that would be really interesting. And then this one would be more Emmeline's territory, but she chose the Tallgrass Zipline Tour. And it's a combination of ziplining through the forest and hiking through the Tallgrass National Forest. It allows the tourists to be followed by a guide to hike and learn, but also learn about the flora and fauna of the area, the unique species found only in the temperate rainforest. So they would use a digital guide to identify the plant and animal species because they provide that for you. Um, and then at the post hike, you get local organic food and beverages, which is just really nice, especially with being out there. So, for this specific one, we would be catering to adventure seekers, young professionals, and families with teens. They enjoy physically engaging, adrenaline filled activities, and they're looking for something exciting. And honestly, you're ziplining. So that is a really, really cool experience. And I would not do it unless I needed an adrenaline rush. So essentially, Kechikan offers unique tourism opportunities through its rich cultural heritage, abundant wildlife, and pristine natural environments. Strategic tourism planning is crucial for maintaining sustainability, preserving cultural integrity, and ensuring economic growth for the community. And the proposed experiences would blend adventure, culture, and sustainability, appealing to the diverse target markets while promoting environmental stewardship. So we chose this place because we thought that it would be different and it would be something that more people would be interested in than you would think. So our first suggestion would just be to invest in infrastructure that supports sustainable tourism, eco-friendly transportation, and water management. Our second suggestion would just be to develop partnerships with local indigenous groups to ensure tourism practices respect cultural heritage, which is a really big deal. And suggestion three would just be to implement marketing strategies targeted to ecotourists, cultural travelers, and adventure seekers to diversify the tourism. Because there is a lot of different kinds, wide range. Kechikan isn't just a destination, it's an invitation to immerse yourself in the heart of Alaska's culture, nature, and adventure. So come discover the wonders of Kechikan, where every experience connects you to the wild beauty of the last frontier. And here are the links to all of the websites that we used, aside from obviously the ones that we submitted in our outline. Thank you.